Hi guys, this is Marketing After Dark. I'm Alicia.
And I'm Leslie, and we are your marketing students who stay up studying after dark.
So on today's episode, we'll be talking about Liz Pucci, a senior vice president in commercial marketing who works with Dr. Dre and Snoop in their new alcohol beverage line, Gin and Juice.
So Liz came to our class the other day and gave us the opportunity to act like product designers for a new launch mocktail. We learned that this is a 13 billion global market and is projected to double by 2032. So this is an industry that the brand wanted to tap into because 41% of Gen Xers are drinking less, and Gen Z is also reporting to be drinking less alcohol. And like my personal experience, I've seen this to be true because of the people I follow on social media. Like, see, people are tapping more into like run clubs or just like lifting, working out and everything, and doing less partying, less alcohol, less just like wild life.
Yeah, no, it's the same for me. Like, even in my own personal experience, I don't drink a whole lot. I found it interesting about the Gen Xers thing because the Gen Xers in my family drink. But, you know, I definitely think some of it with Gen Z is about control. Like, a lot of Gen Zers were in high school or college when COVID happened, and, you know, there wasn't much control that they had over their lives or my life. And so, you know, being able to control your actions that you wouldn't be able to when you're drinking is something that's pretty important. I think consistency is also something that's there, you know, like they want something that's consistent, and sometimes when you're ordering alcohol, it's not always consistent. So having a ready to drink mocktail alcohol, I can see how it's a big industry. So my question that I have with this activity that we had, what was your group's perspective and take on how y'all did it?
So our whole idea for our drink was, it was called Plus One, because it's, you want to go to a party, a wedding, and you have a plus one, and that fun friend who you bring along, and it's just like, so we kind of like had that mindset.
Typical Gen Z.
Yeah, so I was like, hey, let's use me. I don't drink, and I want to have a good night or whatever. What do I want and need when I go out with friends and they're all drinking? It's just like, I want something cheap, because first of all, I went out the other night, a cup of cranberry juice, a cup was $4. My whole bottle of ocean spray cost $4.
Yeah.
So that was our thought process, and we wanted to make it like something that people wanted to bring along.
Okay.
And didn't want to feel ashamed of, like, I don't drink, here's a mocktail. It's more just like, this is my plus one. Like, what about you guys?
So I know one of the first things that we did was like go through everybody's insights and try to see where we all matched up in insights. And then we started listing out our drinks. All of us pretty much saw the insight about wanting control over what you're putting in your body and wanting something that was multifaceted. When we started listing out drinks, we realized that all of us had something with ginger, and quite a few of us had something to do with like a more traditional drink, but it still made it where we had to be very creative and strategic about, okay, what is everybody liking? What do we think would be the most beneficial? How is this going to look? What's going to be our name? Is our name going to be a play on what the ingredients are? Is it going to be something else? But what would you say the challenges were in this activity?
I think the challenge for us was, we made the first drink. Okay. And it was like, we looked at our insights, but we're like, okay, so like, what do we do? Because we didn't have really that much in common of like our insights. So that's what we're kind of like, who are we targeting? We did like a little persona real quick. And it was, you know, like just social people. She travels, but can buy a brand of drinks, but not like a whole bunch of drinks, you know? And we ended up making a drink that we all loved so much. It tasted pretty similar to Paloma, but it was still very unique, I guess. But what we liked about it was that it hit you, because we had spicy agave in there. So it had that burn in your chest. Yeah. And we're like, it hits you like a cocktail. Okay. But it's non-alcoholic. Yeah. So we called it the Sunset Social. Yeah. I was like, this doesn't look like a very sunset to me. It looks like a bright morning day in August. Yeah. So I was like, what if we add some cranberry juice on top and have that like red, you know, fall to the bottom, make it very sunsetty? We're having different opinions because we're like, no, like the cranberry juice is the whole like thing, and there's a different taste to it. And I was like, but it's not really different, you know? So while we still have that whole beginning part of our project of like, oh my, this is amazing, we still have those small differences that kind of made it challenging of like different opinions of like, so who do we go with? Like, who do we follow, you know?
I actually feel like your whole insight about like the difficulties with working with a group, I feel like that is also something that's so important with this activity, is that, you know, we're given the opportunity to be product designers. And we never really think about when you're working in a business and you're actually doing this type of stuff, like those are going to be your challenges when you're working. And I just think about the whole, I hope I'm saying this right. In the textbook, it talks about a scorecard and how you have to like score things and really figure out what values are important and weigh them that way. I feel like we did this before in a class, but it just didn't have that name. But like, how does that play in when you're deciding things? Like, I don't know. It's kind of giving full circle. Full circle moment. But some of the challenges that I think my group had was around towards the end, because we spent so much time talking about the product that when it came to making it, it was like, okay, we gotta do this. Okay, we have to do that. We need a slideshow. And like, I had already started building the slideshow, but I think that was just really the major challenge, is just having a bunch of different personalities coming together and having to make one product and all agree on that product is so difficult. When thinking about stuff that we did in our course and this assignment, how did you see like what we've learned so far be shown within this assignment?
So I'm a physical learner. Like, I learn a lot more by like hands-on experimenting. And this assignment just helped me connect the concept we talked about in the first week of class. I don't know if you remember, Dr. Turner was talking about the 4 P's, 4 T's, and the 4 E's. One of those sections, product, the needs and wants of the customer, and then the experience.
Yeah, that kind of makes me think about our last guest speaker and how he was talking about trends and Mike, and how with innovation, a lot of, you know, the customers are buying products to feed a need. And so, you know, you're doing like our whole class model, you're driving strategy and meaningful creativity with your function. You're trying to really create something that's going to feed a human need through something that's real, it's tangible, it's done through research. I mean, before we even did this whole assignment, we had to go and read all these articles to talk about trends and like pick out insights and whatnot. So it's interesting that you bring up the whole product customer experience, and like how else would you relate that whole thing with what we did?
See, like, okay, you gotta put yourself into the shoes of customers. And being a small business owner, I kind of sometimes skip over that, and I'm kind of like, what is selling? Going back to what Mike was talking about, like, you can't go based off what's trending. You gotta see what's like coming as a trend, not like what's already what you're seeing a lot of, you know?
Because people get tired of things like the hot honey, and then certain things change, like how everything was about protein. Like, people are trying to up their protein, have these gains, and now it's about fiber because people want healthy guts. They want, like, Gen Z, which is funny that a lot of this is about Gen Z and how we drink less. Like, Gen Z is being diagnosed with prostate cancer more. So, like, of course they're gonna think about what's gonna help my gut. Like, how is this gonna be good for me? And I just think with thinking of the company and the product of the company, this isn't a new to the world product innovation. This is just something that is repositioning the products that the brand already offers. So it's more of a new to the product portfolio that they have. And so I find that interesting that Liz and Dr. Turner brought that to us to kind of put our own spin on it and really be creative, because I don't think we've done anything like this before in our program. And it kind of tested our limits because, like Liz mentioned, like, we're doing something that would normally take a company 6 to 8 months to do, and we're doing it in less than 2 hours. And though we have preliminary research, companies have thousands of markers of data as like, what Mike was saying about how, was it that food company Campbell's, and how they have like millions and billions of data points. We only had like 5 articles to look through to really build insights and then our knowledge that we got from the book. So, it's just kind of interesting how everything is flowing together. Turner and Liz were consumers.
Yeah.
And so, like, they're experiencing the product that we made. And so, basically, they're doing the entire brand process, our product development process, where they're going to be the ones to go through the scorecard and go through the whole product life cycle, where they basically choose, like, what's going to be the product innovation that actually makes it through to the audience. Mm-hmm. I guess you can say it, but the audience is them. The customer is them. So, like all of us put in our stuff, but then it gets cut, which is the reality of how product go into development, is that not everything makes the cut. Some of it gets cut in the first round. And like I'm trying to remember what the statistics were in the book, where it was saying like 50% get cut in the first process of the product lifestyle, and then after that, it's like 25 or something. It just gets smaller and smaller with every step. And then towards the end, you have maybe like a couple.
Yeah, because you can have like a billion ideas, but only so few make it towards the end of like the whole process.
Right. So, with all of this, it has me thinking about, I've said that I wanted to do product marketing management in my career. Mm-hmm. And so I feel like this is giving me a taste of what that will be. Mm-hmm. And it's at something that's kind of low stakes, because yes, it's a grade, but it's not my job where I have to give performance.
Right.
So I think that this also has me wanting to make sure I really understand what a product life cycle is and what innovation is. And so I think that this really had me thinking about a company's product portfolio. But do you think there's any key takeaways or like future applications with this?
The one thing that stuck with me the most that Liz said was that you have to convince somebody in 3 seconds when they go to the store and get your product, basically. Yeah. And so, like, you can make the most amazing product, but if you're not in the 3 seconds of all these options they have, and I have my store on Etsy, so that kind of, I related it back to being in a supermarket and having all these options. Yeah. I have my shop on Etsy. I have so many other competitors.
That's very true.
And so, like, how do I make my product the ones that stands out to people?
That's very true.
And so, like, I now have to think.
Yeah. When she said that, I instantly thought of, like, the cereal owl. I was like, and I thought about how they, like, strategically put stuff places.
The kids
and how,
lower.
the kids are lower. And so they're more colorful. The adults are higher. I just thought about that. But, yeah, no, you're right. How that's very important with your Etsy shop, and how you can use what you learned from her to really
put it into different things in life.
Yeah.
And not just marketing a drink,
Yeah. So, yeah. All right. Well,
that concludes today's episode of
Marketing After Dark.
Hey, we'll see you guys next time. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and then tell all your friends about us.
And, keep studying Marketing After Dark.